Okay, so welcome back to another episode of the Hard Patch series. This will be the last one that I'm doing, unless you guys really want me to do Origins, then even though it's not really my cup of tea as a speedrun, I'll learn it, I'll get it going. You guys really like the GK voiceover of me sort of explaining everything that's going on. So I'm going to do one for Revelations. And I've also seen people asking me to redo it for the maps that I didn't do already. Now, instead of doing it for the modded versions, I'm going to do it for the actual WRs, because it actually changes quite a lot between them. But yeah, if you'd like to see that, then just let me know. But anyway, into Rev. Just quickly, just recap what I've already done. I started with Flavor Hex so I can get raindrops and extra credit, and that's going to give me all the money that I need basically for the whole run. And with the fire sales from the raindrops, I'm going to go ahead and get my loadout, and that's going to be obviously the Apothecary Servant, which you need for the Easter egg, Lil Annie's, which you also need for the Easter egg, and the ray gun. Now, what the ray gun is going to do, it's going to allow me to shoot the bones for the bone step where you shoot the rocks and release the bones. It's going to allow me to shoot one of them from a different position than you normally would, which saves around 20 seconds, which you'll see when we get there. Now, one of the first biggest differences in this compared to a normal Revelations run is I'm running anywhere but here. You don't usually run anywhere but here in this speedrun. And just to go back, sorry. All I'm doing right now is just collecting all the parts for the Keeper. And the rock for the Keeper ritual is going to be at Mob of the Dead. But since that is the fastest one. Anyway, the reason we don't use Anywhere But Here in the speedrun is because there are 54 Anywhere But Here locations on Revelations. Compared to, like, I think there's about 13 on Shadows of Evil, maybe 12, you know, like 7 or 8 on Gerard Crovey. And there's 54 on Rev, which means the likelihood of you getting the Anywhere But Here that you want is so low that it's just kind of not worth doing. Plus, in a normal run, you'll run fire sales instead of Anywhere But Here, obviously to get the box. But anyway, we've started the Keeper, and he's going to do his thing for the next 3 minutes. So during that, the next 3 minutes, all I'm going to do is just turn on the power on every island, do every corruption engine, catch for big Apothecary so I can go into PAP, and also make sure I shoot the rocks for the Pack-a-Punch Apothecary Servant. All whilst getting to the bug round. Getting to the bug round is quite important here. And any gum hits that I'm doing is all going to be to get back to another raindrop. So I'm going to need raindrops to do the Lil Annie step. Just so I can get the max ammos. Now, Rev is kind of an interesting one. Because Revelations, the RNG on this map for a normal speedrun, it is crazy. There's so much RNG in the speedrun. You know, with the eggs, for symbols, for box, like all of that. So when you really like have a look at this and just give yourself perfect RNG, the strategy itself doesn't really change that much. But the time is going to be so much faster just based on getting perfect RNG that, you know, like the difference is crazy. Like I said, I'm sending on all the corruptions here. It's not as fast paced as Gerard Crovey this speedrun. Gerard Crovey was like really full on. There was so much going on. But now I'm going to come into here, and the Apothecary is always going to come around at the same time. He's on a cycle of 40 seconds, which means he'll come round at about 4:20 every single time. So that's 4:20, 5 minutes, 5:40, 6:20, etc. You can track this in your games. There's a timer when you press tab or back, I think it is, on a controller. You can track when he's going to come round. He'll always be on that same cycle. So here we get round 5 bugs, which is what we're going to need here. And then we're just going to be waiting for the Keeper to finish. I'm going to kill some bugs, but not all. I want to thin the round out a little bit. Maybe so there's like half a round left, because I am going to be grabbing some nukes. So if you look in the top left, you'll see that the keeper is done at 2:07, or 5:07, sorry, which is 3 minutes after I started him. We're going to pick up the reel and just bring it into Nax. Now, again, the raindrops here is going to be used for the max ammos in the squid. Widow's wine grenade to just kill a bug or two, maybe. It didn't kill any, but that was the whole idea there. Again, I just want to be thinning the round out a little bit. Shoot down Pack-a-Punch, and then we're going to grab the raindrops. Or pop it, sorry. We're going to pre-pop it there and start throwing out Arnie's. And I just grabbed the death machine to get rid of the drop, by the way. Grab everything, including the max ammo, very important. And then just throw the rest of our Arnie's. This Magua was scaring me a bit. In fact, all of those were. Oh my god. Those spawns were crazy. I'm just taking a couple of Magua heads, by the way. I don't have a lot of money right now. I think that was the thought process in my head while I was doing this. Even though I do have extra credit from Flavor Hex, I'm not really used to getting a second gum in here, because that's where the raindrops comes from. It comes from Flavor Hex, right? It gives you 2 random gobble gums. Obviously, it's modded to give me exactly what I want, but... yeah, and then the nuke from the second raindrops will end the round. And basically... Sorry, I've kind of just glossed over it. When you end the bug round, it will kill every single Magua. So all I have to do is spawn in every Magua and then nuke. Or, sorry, end the bug round. And when the bug round ends, all the Maguas will die. And then I can grab the reel and just bring it over here. Place down the reel. And you'll see I'm ray gun boosting. Kind of a hard skill to perfect, I'd say. The ray gun gives knockback, and you can save a bit of time on movement with it. So as you can see, I'm just sort of like ray gun boosting and trying my best. Now, the rocks can only be hit by Pack-a-Punch weapons. So that's how we Pack-a-Punch the ray gun. And you'll see here what I do. I'm going to go to spawn. So I shot the Varrock's bone. I'm going to shoot the spawn bone here. And then I'm going to go back into Nact. And this is the last place that we're going to go. We're actually going to shoot the rest of the bones from Nact. So that's the Nact bone. I'm going to shoot DE, the one on the wall. I'm going to shoot Shang. And I'm going to shoot the bones with the squid. This is a really cool skip. You can do this with any bullet weapon. Now, this is the one that you need the ray gun for. You can shoot Origin's bone from across the map with the ray gun. Yeah, it saves about 20 seconds, I think. Since I don't have to go to Origins to do that. And you can only do that with 3 weapons on the game. That's the ray gun, the XM53, and the Pack-a-Punch MR6. Now, the XM53 and the Pack-a-Punch MR6 are obviously very inaccurate, so that's why we used a ray gun. We don't do it with the other 2. If we get the ray gun, we take it, and that's 20 seconds time save against normal. The rest of the bones, you could do it exactly how I did. If you put a Verix 3 sight on an assault rifle, it makes it really easy to see the bones, especially DE. I think DE is probably one of the crazier ones that you might think of, but it's actually super obvious if you just watch out that window. You can see the bones sticking out. It's like a separate rock almost. And then again, with Shangri-La, you can see the rock. Like, you can see it, and you know what you're shooting. It stands out, you know, it's textured. Now here I'm just shooting the turrets. This is all pretty straightforward, just sort of doing the Easter egg. There's no real way to speed this up. Apart from using anywhere but here, but we're going to use it for later, so we don't want it now. Yeah, there's not really much else to say. Apart from I will need to end my round, which we will do. That is some terrible movement from me. But yeah, we're going to call in Sofia, and while I'm escorting her, I do have a couple of cheeky locations to cycle my Gobblegum. So we're going to get round robin, flipped around. Like I said, we do need to end around. And then again, we're going to be able to hit Gum again here while still escorting her. We're going to get anywhere but here. And then I'm going to cycle another Gum. I can't remember exactly what that Gum was. Whatever it was, it's not important. What I want now is another ABH. And then another one for later as well, which I'm going to use. So we're just going to throw the Widow's Wine Grenades away. We're going to fill 2 eggs per round here. I believe I do make a little bit of a mistake at some point, but we'll get to that. Kind of a slowish bone segment from me. I'm not a Rev player. I'm not practiced on this map. It's not really something that I'm well versed in, so there is actually a faster run similar to this done by Second. He's a very seasoned Rev player. I'll link it below. It's slightly faster. Since I was in a bit of a rush when I did this before I went on holiday, so I didn't exactly like perfect it like he did. But the premise is the same. By the way, you can't skip out the house. I know people will ask. You can't do it. Anyway, we'll grab the first egg, and then we'll ABH straight into the squid. Now, again, that's a 1 in 54 chance to get that. There's a reason we don't play for it. That is a reason we're not doing that. Now, I was trying to kill enough to, like, be able to fill another egg there. I actually only killed 10 zombies, which I think is crazy. Because I did just sort of shoot the horde and they all just died. Oh, sorry, only 1 died to give me the extra zombie that I needed. Again, eggs will all be perfect. This is actually really scary here. Sometimes if you get this symbol and this egg, you can just have the entire round of zombies at the bottom of the stairs like that. And it's so easy to get caught. But again, we're just going to ABH inside of for squid again. Again, 1 in 54 chance. In terms of other odds, I don't really know what they are. Things like the box, I can't tell you what the box odds are. It is weighted slightly. But things like eggs, there's 4 egg locations, all perfectly weighted. 3 symbol locations, and again, we get first symbol, first egg again. ABH, back into the squid, 1 in 54. We've done that 3 times now. But yeah, things like that, I can't really comment on what the odds are with the box, except from my experience. If I'm doing resets where, you know, I'm constantly hitting the box, you know, during Keeper, which is what we normally do while the Keeper's doing his thing, we usually hit the box. I might get a run maybe once every 6 hours, and that's, you know, I'd say that's quite normal. But it just kind of puts it into perspective, like how hard it is to get runs on this map sometimes. I believe I make a mistake here. Yeah, okay. I forgot to ABH, which I am meant to ABH here, and I think I do it here. So basically, that's just dead time that I just lost there, which is just me being silly. Silly me. The only other concern during this run, I don't have a shotgun right now. Not having a shotgun makes the boss fight a lot harder. I'm gonna have to lock in on my Magwas. Okay, and then finally we'll go to D. Now, this symbol here, by the way, this whole segment is like the biggest part of the run, eggs and symbols. This is where you lose and gain the most time. That symbol is a 1 in 3, like every other symbol. But the spacing of the other symbols are so far away. The other one is at the box at D, and the other one's Stamina up in Shangri-La. So I think Shang's symbol is a 40-second time loss against that one. So it's so important to get that symbol in a run. Now, obviously, I'm not going to look at my symbols. I already know what they all are. Let's go to spam F, which, again, you would never do this in a run, but yeah, eggs and symbols is the biggest time loss in the run. Since I got the first egg and first symbol at every single location, and not getting that on just one of them can lose you 20 seconds. Say, if you get, like, a bad location once. 4 symbols, Lamal. If you get a bad location, say if you get worst possible Mob of the Dead location, right? That's like a 45-second time. Your run's dead, basically. You can't WR. Now here, I'm just doing my SOE stuff, insta-killing Magwas. It's a lot harder with the ray gun because I have to physically hit the head one each. Whereas with a shotgun like the KRM, the spread of the damage on the gun allows me to damage multiple heads at once, so it makes it a lot easier. So here I'm just looking, and I can sort of see the heads flash. If you look, I'll see if we see it on this one. See, do you see that sort of flash there? That tells me that that head is going to open first, because the way it works, when a Magwa is spawning, he's going to flash his heads at you and say, I want you to shoot this one first, and then this one, and then this one. It's like an order. It's really easy to see on Shadows of Evil because the Magwa is physically there. The premise is the same here, except the Magwa isn't physically there, and you can only see like a flash of the head. So yeah, this is just about me just, you know, having a look around and just making sure that I kill my Magwas. You will see people fail this with the ray gun. It's hard. If people get a run with this, they will mess up. Like that. Oh my god, it's a disaster. And then, if you do fail, you can kill them with the squid. That's only possible in Revelations. It can't happen on Shadows of Evil. I don't know why. The Magwas work differently on this map. But you can just spam your squid at them to kill them. Now, I'm going to throw the keys here. I tried to do a cheeky thing with Anywhere But Here. I messed up, by the way. I was meant to have ABH at this point already, I think. So I don't even know where the key is. There it is. This is the first time that I tried this. I thought it was quite fun to just sort of make a key route with Anywhere But Here. See what was best. But you're going to see some cool key throws, regardless if it's even that fast. It's not. Oh, also, notice how I melee through the portal. You should do that in all your games as well. That means that the key is not going to glitch when you go through a portal. So here we're going to collect Nact. And then we're going to go to Origins. Or Mob, sorry. I'm going to throw Origins. Second, I would take notes on that one. Just to let you know, I would take notes. We're going to throw Mob. And as soon as I throw Mob, I believe... Oh no, I thought I was going to AVH. So I only buy a hate... Yeah, okay. I don't know what's going on. So we're going to AVH. Straight to D. And then I was just kind of hoping that that hit. Which it did. I was getting destroyed by every zombie. Bit of a comical key segment, to be honest. The ABHs were kind of fun, but I would probably smooth that out if I was to do this again. Now, the boss fight's simple. Kill things to collect souls into the summoning key. Specifically, the Magwas are really good to kill, because the Magwa itself counts for a soul. And then he also releases 3 bugs when you kill it, right? So that's another 3 souls. So you'll generally see us target Magwas to fill the key. And then this is simple, just shoot bro. Now, the Shadow Man can move, between 6 and 12 times. It's a complete 50-50 on, you know, if you'll increment by 1 or 2 when he moves. But yeah, between 6 and 12 times, unless you have the Wisp, in which case it's 4 and 6. So if you ever see people picking up the super Easter egg Wisp on a speedrun on Rev, that's why. They're picking up the Wisp so the boss fight is faster at the end. Only slightly faster, but, you know, everything counts. But yeah, that's Rev. I'm going to link Sean's run below because obviously he did the same thing as me, smoothed it out, etc. So I'll drop that down. This is a bit of an explanation. Please comment if you have any questions. I'll try my best to answer them. And yeah, if you would like me to go over the world records for Shadows of Evil, Horizon Drac, and potentially Zetsubo, yeah, please let me know. I'll do a similar thing and sort of explain it. And I can do it in more detail as well, because especially on things like Shadows of Evil, I feel like there's a lot more going on that you don't actually see. Where, you know, whether it be stuff that I'm doing in my head, specifically where I'm looking at different points in the run, what I'm thinking. There's a lot to sort of think about. So I could sort of go over that in more detail for Shadows of Evil, whereas like the modded Shadows of Evil, where it uses round robin, it takes all of that away, so it's not going to be nearly as interesting, because round robin like completely changes Shadows of Evil, makes it a lot easier, removes a lot of the skill involved with it. So yeah, well, let me know if you want that. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, bye bye.